two characters are going to Top Gun. For 5 weeks, you're gonna fly against the best fighter pilots in the world. You were number 2, Cougar was number 1. Cougar lost and turned in his wings. You guys are number 1. You remember one thing. You screw up just this much, you'll be flying a cargo plane full of rubber dog shit out of Hong Kong. Yes, sir!
Hello and welcome. What's up, everybody? Thank you for clicking on this very special video. I'm so excited to finally announce that we are officially launching the heater series from 6th Sense Fishing, available right now. That's right, guys. The rods are here, they're available, and I'm gonna talk to you guys a little bit about these rods right now. I'm gonna go over every one of the models that we currently have to offer. I'm gonna tell you guys my thought process behind the length, power, and action of each one of these rods, what baits I had in mind when we were designing them. But you guys have been asking me practically non-stop ever since I told you guys several months back that we were doing this. When are your rods gonna be available? And now, right now, exclusively for everyone watching, we're announcing it here to the JR10 Army, to all of the viewers here on YouTube. First, you're gonna get an exclusive first chance crack at these heater series rods. So you're the first ones to know about it. They're live on the website right now, 6thsensefishing.com. So now that that's out of the way, let me tell you guys more about these rods, get you guys up to speed on what's going on, just in case you didn't see the video where I first told you guys that I was gonna be getting my own signature line of fishing rods. So well over a year ago now, Casey, the owner of 6th Sense Fishing, El Presidente, approached me about potentially creating my own signature line of rods in collaboration with 6th Sense Fishing. These are 6th Sense Fishing rods. Let's make that clear. So, needless to say, I was blown away. This is one of the biggest moments, if not the biggest moment in my entire fishing career. This seems surreal to me. I can't even believe that this is happening. I'm so blessed to have a company like 6th Sense want to work with me to create a product like this with me, to have my influence go into the design, and to create something like this for all of you guys, for all of really my audience is what this is targeted towards you guys. This is something that you helped bring to fruition. The power of everything that we've created here on YouTube, the awesome fishing following that we have amassed here, helped make this possible. So let me just kick it off by saying thank you guys. Thank you for showing me so much love and support. Without you guys, none of this would have happened. The heater series is definitely something that you guys deserve credit for as well. But Casey came to me and he hit me up about doing this, and I was extremely taken aback, but obviously I said, of course, yes, that's something I would be interested in doing. So he started picking my brain, asking me what kind of lengths and powers and what do we want it to look like. We talked a lot. We went back and forth figuring out what would be a good variety of rods to offer in this first wave. A lot of discussion and thought went into the lengths, powers, actions. And once we got that stuff dialed in, we started working on the aesthetics. I think you guys are gonna be so stoked on the way they turned out. You could see a little bit there in that opening clip. That was when the rods first got dropped off here, but they're absolutely beautiful. But let's first talk about the components that went into building these things. So we got a 24-ton Japanese blank. You got Fuji line guides. We got a 2-piece reel seat with an exposed blank. I like that exposed blank right there. Give you a little added sensitivity. Next up, we got the split grip EVA foam. This is also my preferred style of grip. That's what we went with. Like I said, 24-ton Japanese blank, Fuji line guides from Japan. These are high quality line guides. You got a bait keeper on the top side. That was important to me. I don't like it when the bait keeper's on the bottom. When me and Casey were on the phone and we were talking about these rods, I told him, hey, the bait keeper, it has to be on the top. He was like, I agree. So I'm glad we made that happen. Bait keeper on the top. Minimal epoxy, lightweight. Now when it comes to the aesthetics and the looks, the appearance of the rods, we wanted bold font, aggressive styling, cool colors, vibrant, something unique, just like you would expect from me. If you guys have been following along here on the channel, you see my merch line. You know we like 90s style, vibrant colors, neons, purples, chartreuse, aqua. So the heater series rod fits right in with everything that you guys have seen from me. They look awesome. They got these killer blue anodized accents on the grip. Got the 6 on the butt. Coming over here, you got the chartreuse 6 label. Bait keeper on the top, just like I said. If you look closely around the epoxy, you got this emerald green thread accent and that goes all the way down the blank, all the way to the end. So you got that cool thread accent all the way down, and then you got the heater logo with the 6 chartreuse flames. On the back side, you're gonna have your length, power, action, and then up here, you have this cool accent section with the aqua, turquoise, and then that chartreuse 6 cents logo. God, the looks, the aesthetics, that we knocked it out of the park. They look so cool. If you guys have been watching the past couple videos, my astute anglers, you guys that have been paying close attention out there, you've seen me fishing with these already. It's no secret to a couple of you what these actually look like. When I had the opportunity to go down south, that was what I felt like a great chance to really put the heater series to the test, fish with these things, actually catch fish on them, and make sure that they were really good to go for you guys. So if you watched those videos, you saw that we did that. I caught a lot of fish on these rods. I caught, honestly, the strongest fighting fish that I've ever hooked into on one of these rods right here that I have on the table that I'm gonna show you and talk to you about. They performed amazing. They work just like they're intended to work for all the baits that I was thinking about when we made them. They look incredible. You guys saw them up close and personal there in that opening segment. You can also check them out on the website, see what 6 Cents has to say about them. But really, what I had in mind was like, I wanna come up with a rod that's a mix between the Lux series, which is like the split grip foam handle, the 2-piece reel seat with the exposed blank, really lightweight. Those are the features that I really like in the Lux series. I wanted to bring that and sort of join it with like the sensitivity and the quality of the newer ESP series. That's what I had in mind. That was sort of the thought process and kind of like the loose idea when we were coming up with these rods and what I wanted to create for you guys. And I feel like we achieved that. They turned out amazing. I really enjoyed fishing with them. I think you guys are gonna enjoy fishing with them too, and they're gonna look awesome on the deck of your boat, on your kayak, in the bed of your truck on your way down to the honey hole, or just walking along the banks of the backyard pond with these in tow. It's definitely the most vibrant and aggressive looking line of rods that 6 Cents has ever come up with. And I'm super stoked to have been a part of it. I want to give a massive thank you to Casey, to Zach, to Wes, to Knox, and everybody else who was involved in this, everybody at 6 Cents Fishing, for making this a reality, for letting me be a part of it, for entrusting me with such a massive project, and for letting me be a part of something so big, for gambling on me and believing in me and believing in you, because really this is about me and you guys. You're the reason that this happened. So many of you guys have shown interest in this line of rods, and the JR10 Army, the power of all the support that has been garnered from this crazy little machine that we've all built together over here with these videos is what made this possible. So thank you to all of you. Thank you to 6 Cents Fishing. The heater series rods are here. You guys can go get them. You can now own them. First shot at these rods is exclusively for you, so go get them right now. So I thought about doing this video like formal, try to make it like on the dot and official, like a referee with a whistle, but you guys know me, man. You know how I shoot my videos. It's all off the top of the dome, just sitting here in front of the camera, running my mouth. So I'm trying to make sure that I don't forget anything. Bear with me as I talk about this fishing rods. I'm really excited. I'm gonna show you every single one. We have 5 different models in this first wave for you guys. It's a little something for everybody. We're gonna cover all the bases. I have every bait that I had in mind when I was making these things. Not every bait, but most of them out here on the table. So I'm gonna show you each one of these rods, the length, the power, the action, and I'm gonna show you the baits that I would use with each one of these bad boys. So let's just start with the flagship rod, the rod that you guys have seen me use the most here on the channel. I first started using this rod when we got the first heater series prototypes in. This is, like I said, the flagship rod. This is the one right here, the one that I'm probably the most excited about. I'm just gonna start off with it. This is the 7-foot, 4-inch medium heavy mod fast. This is the heater series swim jig rod right here. I designed this rod for one thing, and one thing specifically first and foremost, and that is the Divine swim jig. And that is what I've been primarily using this rod for the most part. I've caught so many fish on a swim jig with this rod, and the way it loads up, the way it fishes with a swim jig, it's such a good moving bait rod. I know that this is one that you guys have been really excited about. A lot of you guys asked me when the swim jig heater is gonna be available. Tell me you can't wait to get your hands on it. So I'm excited that it's finally here. But let me tell you about a couple other baits that this thing will be good for. Another bait that I also had in mind when we were designing this one And this is a bait that I wanted to be able to throw on the same rod that I throw the swim jig on. And it might not be what you think. It's a square bill, the Crush Flat 75X square bill specifically. That's right, this one right here, the Flat 75X, this rod paired up with this square bill crankbait, it's a deadly combo. Those are the two baits specifically that I had in mind when I was coming up with this rod right here. The 7'4" medium heavy, moderate fast, heater series swim jig rod. Also a killer rod for the Crush Flat 75X. One more honorable mention, I feel like this is also gonna be a really good rod for like the movement square bills. So if you're looking for a good rod for a swim jig or a good rod for that flat sided square bill, I suggest this one right here. 7'4" medium heavy mod fast heater series. It would also make a really good Texas rig rod. Creature baits, worms, bottom contact. This is also an excellent rod for that. You could throw a traditional style jig on this as well. No issue, but let's move on to the next one. We're gonna bump it up in power a little bit. This one right here, 7 foot, 5" heavy fast. This is the one that I've been using for the Vega frog. I like a heavy fast for frogging. Some people prefer that extra heavy broomstick. Me personally, I like a heavy fast. That's what I went with. The other bait that I had in mind when it came to this rod was like prop style baits like the Whopper Plopper, buzz baits, but mainly this is like my Vega frog setup. Also, 7 foot, 5" heavy fast would make an excellent jig rod. Heavier jig, like a 1/2 ounce and up, I would say. This is like a 3/4 ounce, 1 ounce jig. It would also make a killer pitching and flipping setup. A little jugular hook with a stroker craw. If you're looking for something to go around and do a little heavier stuff with, you could definitely get away with it on this rod. And I also think that this rod is gonna do great for throwing the trace. If you guys are looking for a good all around heavier action rod that you wanna be able to throw a little bit lighter swim baits on, check out that heater series 7 foot, 5" heavy fast. Next up, I'm gonna show you guys the one that I feel like I'm gonna use the most, the one that I feel like is the most versatile and the most fun to use probably out of each one of them. This one right here. Cool, I'm happy about this one. There's a lot of baits on the table for this one, guys. Are you ready? What do you think it is? All right, this is the Cheeto heater, guys. This is the rod that I designed for the Chester Cheeto. This is the 6'9" medium moderate. Lighter rod, really parabolic action. It's super light, it loads up really deep, and it is killer for throwing the Crush 50X like this radiation craw, AKA Chester Cheeto that I have tied on right now. But that's not all. In addition to the Crush 50, which is, like I said, the primary bait that I had in mind when we were making this one. You know, it also throws that curve finesse smoke with no issue. Those are two really good square bill options for this, but also the Snatch 70 or any small profile lipless crankbait like this little rattle trap right here. The 6'9" medium moderate is gonna be an excellent rod for those baits. Also, you guys know I love my top water walking baits, and this is the rod that I used to throw them right here. The Dogma 100 or the Catwalk, both from 6 cents. Those are my two favorite top water walking style baits, but you could throw a spook or whatever your preferred walking bait is. This is the rod that I love to do it. The reason I like this rod so much, it's so extremely light and it's so easy to work like this all day. Those walking baits, no fatigue. It's also a killer Provoke 106X hard jerkbait rod. And speaking of hard jerkbaits, you guys know how much I love throwing a soft plastic jerkbait like the Flush or the Zoom Salty Super Fluke. And that right there is the rod that I would use to do it. So I don't know how many baits I just showed you. It was, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like 6 different types of baits that I just showed you that this one rod covers. If you could only get one, especially if you're fishing from the bank, I feel like this is the one that's gonna be the most fun. It may not be the heaviest or the most powerful. You may not be able to go frogging or throw heavy jigs or Texas rigs with this thing, but man, if you like throwing square bills, walking baits, jerk baits like I do, this right here is the one. 6'9" medium moderate heater series. Next up, this one right here is the chatterbait heater. This is the one that you saw me catch the big one down there in South Texas on. 7 foot, 2" medium heavy mod fast. 7.2 mod fast. So there you go. It's made specifically for the chatterbait, guys. This is what you want to be throwing on here. If you're looking for a dedicated chatterbait, bladed jig, jackhammer rod, this is the one right here, guys. It's supreme, for the bladed jig, but it's also really good for a couple other baits that I want to mention. It would be really, really good for a spinnerbait. Spinnerbait, excellent spinnerbait rod. Also, the Axle, the swing and swim jig, Z-Man chatterbait, evergreen jackhammer, custom 6 cents divine chatterbait that you made with your own chatterbait blade. Excellent for any one of those. Also, I think it's gonna work really well for the swank. Haven't had a chance to try it, but I got a feeling. On top of that, something else I've used it for accidentally and found out that it works really well for, little finesse jigs. 7.2, medium heavy, mod fast. That's that bladed jig, that jackhammer, that chatterbait heater right there. That's the one if you're looking for a good bladed jig rod. All right, last but not least, this one right here. This one is the most specialized. This rod is the most niche. This rod is the most different out of any one of these. This one is one that I kind of had to push for. This is one that up to that point when I came up with this rod, they had never offered this length, power, and action before. But I wanted something for these next few baits that I'm gonna show you, designed specifically for these type of baits, and I think we've really pulled it off. This right here is the 7'5" medium moderate. It's a medium power, moderate action rod that's a little bit longer. It's got a little bit more length to it, will load up a little bit more, and it's great for throwing baits like the C6. Medium profile or smaller profile, medium diving crankbaits. That's what I had in mind for this. The C6 and the Curve 55 primarily. Those were the two baits that I was going for. That's the Cloud 9 C6 and the Curve 55. You guys know I throw a lot of 6 cent stuff, but just in case you don't, I'll tell you guys a little bit about these baits so you can apply that to whatever brand that you prefer. This Curve 55 over here dives 5 to 9 feet. It's 3/8 of an ounce. This one over here dives 4 to 8 feet. It's a 1/2 ounce. Really similar baits, just different profiles, different actions. This one is a little skinnier, a little longer. It's got a little bit tighter action. This one right here is a little wider, and it has that unique teardrop shape and has that really unique wiggle wart hunt to it. So those are the two baits that I had in mind primarily when designing the 7.5 medium moderate heater series, but there are a couple more that I think it's gonna work really well for. That being the Quake 70 lipless. That's a little bit larger profile, not like the smaller ones that we were talking about earlier, but the bigger Quakes. This is a 1/2 ounce, 70 millimeter. I think that's gonna be perfect on this 7'5" medium moderate, as well as like small single finesse swim baits. Something like that little Kitech or that Divine single swimmer. I think the 7.5 is gonna do good on baits like that. But anyways, that's the rundown, that's the breakdown. And those are specifically the baits that I had in mind when we were coming up with the kind of rods to make for you guys with this first wave, the first 5 models. Now that's not to say that those are the only baits you can use these for. I feel like you could practically, if you bought all 5 of these, you could do just about everything that there is to do. But I just wanted to give you guys an idea of what I would do with them. I'm interested to hear what you think these rods will be good for. I'm interested to hear what you think about the way they look. I'm interested if you guys are considering picking up any one of these, which one would you buy? Speaking of purchasing the rod, let's talk a little bit about price point. $149.99, that's gonna be the price on these. We tried to keep it as low as we could. I think we landed at a good spot. Now we went over everything that went into these Warlocks earlier in this video. You guys are getting a quality rod at a great price point, and if you choose to pick one up, I sincerely appreciate you so much. Thank you to everybody who has shown interest in the heater series. I'm so stoked to finally be able to tell you guys that it's here. The time has come, it's official. You can go get these right now. 6centsfishing.com, JR10 will save you 10%. That's right. 10% off the heater series with that JR10. Shout outs to the JR10 army. If you guys want to see more heater series rods, let me know what links, actions, and powers that you want to see in wave 2. If wave 1 does good enough, if we can sell out of all these rods that we've invested in, we will make another wave. We will make wave 2. I will take into consideration any input you have out there, and I will work with 6 Cents, with Casey, with Zach, with all the powers that be to come up with a heater series rod that fits your needs and helps you accomplish the things that you want to accomplish as an angler out there on the water. I want to be able to bring you guys products that you really want to use. That is why I picked these 5 rods specifically with this first wave. These were the ones that I feel like we could go out and get the most use out of, cover the most bases, the most baits with, and have the most fun with. That's one thing that I wanted to make sure we were doing with this one. I wanted to make sure we were having fun and that we were setting it off when it came to the visuals. I think we really knocked it out of the park. I mean, check out the awesome heater logo, the flames. The flames were Casey's touch. Shout out to Casey on the flames. The beautiful chartreuse. Also, you guys saw the original heater font. It was different. It was kind of like etched in. These were blue. This wasn't even here. There was no thread work. The aesthetics on the original heater series, they were all right. But this right here absolutely blows those old prototypes away. I actually have one right here. We'll grab it. So this is the original prototype heater series on top there. You can see we had the aqua blue. I wanted to go with a bunch of blue on the original, but we started talking more and we were like, man, we really need to set it off with the color. And once we popped that chartreuse on there, changed the font, man, it really set these off. I wanted to make sure that they look cool, man, because regardless of what some people say, it's important, you know, it's cool to look cool. It's cool to have cool looking things. I love things with cool colors, and not just cool colors, but I mean like cool colors, like aqua blues and stuff like you see on this, the Heater Zone hoodie. You can get on theheaterzone.com. Also, these hats that you see me wearing, theheaterzone.com. But I wanted to make the rods that I was building with 6th Sense super cool looking, just like all my merch and everything that you see from me. And I think we were able to achieve that. But that's just what I think. Let me know what you think down below in the comments. Let me know if you are planning on picking up a Heater Series rod and which one of these you're planning on picking up. Thank you guys so much for all of your incredible support. It is because of you that this is possible. I'm really excited to see you guys out there fishing with these rods. If you order one and you go fishing, please take a picture, post it up on social media and tag me so I can share it to my social media. I can't wait to see all the fish that you guys are gonna catch on these things. I can't wait to go fishing with them myself and catch a bunch of fish with you here on the channel. Go get yourself a Heater Series rod, please. By all means, let's show them that this was worthwhile. Their investment in us, in me, and in you was not in vain, and that we're gonna knock this out of the park and we're gonna bring wave 2, wave 3, and a whole lot more to the Heater Series in the future. Because that's what I have in my head anyway, and I want us all to be able to make that a reality together. So the demand for these rods has been high. I have a feeling that they're gonna sell out. So if you wanted to get your crack at one of the Heater Series rods, check them out right now, 6thsensefishing.com. Use my code JR10 for 10% off the Heater Series. Pick up a couple baits while you're there. Consider the baits that I showed you while I was showing you these rods. So if you're gonna pick up a Heater Series rod, like say the 6'9" medium moderate, consider grabbing yourself a Crush 50, a Provoke, and a Dogma 100 while you're at it. Maybe a pack of flushes. Punch in that JR10 code, JR10 for the win. Secure the heater, save the bread, you know the deal. The Heater Series live and direct in full effect right now for you all, available right now exclusively for the JR10 Army. I'm not sure when 6th Sense is gonna make their official announcement, but they let me tell you all first so that you guys could have an exclusive run on these rods before the general public. So let's show them the power of the JR10 Army. Let's show up in full force. Go grab one of these rods and pick up a couple baits. Use that JR10 to save yourself a couple bucks, and then shoot me a screenshot so I can give you guys a shout out. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to listen to me break down these rods for you, to share my excitement about the Heater Series rods with you. Thank you for all the love and support that you continue to show me. You guys have changed my life. Without you, none of this would be possible. Really quick before we wrap this up, I'm gonna go over each rod one more time and my favorite bait for each model. The 7-foot 4-inch medium heavy mod fast Heater Series swim jig rod. No surprise there. My favorite bait for that one is the Devon swim jig. Next up, 7-foot 5-inch heavy fast. That's my Vega Frog rod. Next up, 6-foot 9-inch medium moderate. It's tough, but this is my Crush 50 rod. Also, Flush 5.2 soft plastic jerkbait. Next up, Chatterbait Heater, 7-foot 2-inch medium heavy mod fast. This is my Chatterbait rod, Evergreen jackhammer with the Flush 5.2 as the trailer. 1/2 ounce is the weight on that. It's absolutely money on that 7.2 medium heavy mod fast. The last one, 7-foot 5-inch medium moderate. The Cloud9 C6 is definitely my favorite to throw on that so far. And that's the Heater Series. Thank you guys so much for all the love and support. I'm out of here, man. Much love. Peace.